Nestled in the heart of Manila, the Salle University is home to local and international students seeking quality education for a brighter future ahead. The Salle University positions itself as a leader in molding individuals who serve the church and the nation. The university is a hub for higher education training, renowned for its academic excellence, prolific and relevant research, and involved community service. The Lasallian community is not only limited in producing quality education for its students and its community. The university strives to produce individuals that are inculcated with the core values and principles of the Lasallian brothers. Because of this, the Lasallian community produces an environment in which gives freedom of expression to its students. Such is the case of the impassioned student body of the De La Salle University. Last May 25, 2018, the University Student Government, or USG, spearheaded G for Soji, an event where members of the LGBT community, as well as youth leaders and various student councils, gathered to rally for the Anti-Discrimination Bill, also known as SOGI, or Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity and Expression Equality Bill. Now more than ever, there's a vital need for the youth to speak up about causes that they feel deeply connected to. Whether it's about government abuses or inadequacies or just social causes, the youth needs to stand up more. They no longer sit around and wait for the adults to do the fixing. Especially now that gender and sexuality are given more emphasis and are fought for equality. The need for more representation in the political realm of the Philippines is vital in order to cater to the needs of the minority of gender groups. The LGBT people in the Philippines have a distinctive culture in our society, but also have limited legal rights. We can see that gays and lesbians are the only ones in the gender identity groups that are mostly tolerated. Due to recent events, they are the only ones who are acknowledged and mostly accepted by the society. And this is why we need more representation in our political realm in the Philippines. The LGBT political party, Ang Ladlad, has been unsuccessful to date in a winning seat in Congress. Because of this, the representation of LGBT issues is often made by heterosexual allies. Individual LGBT politicians, rather than one party, are currently seen as the way to promote LGBT rights. However, LGBT Filipinos need to be involved in the development of LGBT-related laws, ordinances, and policies for the holistic development of the whole society.
I don't believe that my gender has to do with the position that I'm holding now. Presently, Punong Barangay has a vast duties and responsibility. And there is no preference in having the position of Punong Barangay. So otherwise, I would say it would not affect. There is such a word as distinction in politician and public servant. Three things I must say. When choosing a public servant, she must or he must have a heart of commitment to serve her or his constituent. Second, he or she must be honest. Third, I think educational background would help a lot. Being empowered as a trust of people who elected me give me a high responsibility to do my tasks. Being empowered is such a big word, but serving the people should be always a priority of every public servant. I think there was already an episode in our society where LGBT was not accepted. But during my term, I embraced them with all my heart. I think LGBT should be given the opportunity to serve the society as well as our community. There are a lot of talented LGBT, very knowledgeable in doing this task. I think I give them 100%. on giving opportunity to serve the community. What would I say to them? Hey guys, give them a chance. They're all talented. There are only few of them who has no education, but please trust them. I would give my 100% approval on giving this society of LGBT a chance to work with us as partner of our community building.
And this is why we asked various individuals within the walls of BLSU their stand on LGBT individuals and the representation and qualities needed for a position in the government.
Personally, I don't think that sexuality has anything to do with one's capability to run for a position in office. That's one of the common misconceptions of traditionalists, especially those who aren't really open to really looking or diving into the qualifications of a person. Because at the end of the day, that's what truly matters.
No, I don't think that sexuality or gender has anything to do with one's capabilities, one's abilities to serve. Because if we actually measure people or one person's capability based on their gender, sexuality, that's stereotyping. And that's something that we actually need to eliminate in the society for us to actually flourish, for us to actually know one's full potential.
I think there is no direct correlation between the leadership skills of the politician and their sexuality or gender. I firmly believe that if the politician is good or fit to rule, then he or she must rule, regardless of sex or gender.
Hindi naman.
Position, hindi naman.
Kasi depende sa ano yan sa gawa ng tao.
Hindi naman. Kasi nung araw, di ba yung babae sa bahay lang, yung lalaki nagtatrabaho. Ngayon pantay-pantay na kasi parehas na sila may pinag-aralan, parehas na may trabaho.
I don't believe that sexuality affects the capability of politicians to serve the country, to make policies, or to serve their people. In fact, I think some politicians who are active in the LGBT community, they are able to fight for their advocacies more so that they are able to serve their constituents even better because of their advocacies.
For me, not really. Everybody's equal. It just all depends on how one can handle the situation on hand.
I think what we should do is actually look at people as individuals and look past through their genders. Because the more on we actually look at their genders or their sexuality, we're actually limiting their capabilities, or we're actually putting limitations on what they can actually do. And we're actually limiting the opportunities that we're serving them.
I don't think there is a dominant gender or sexuality that dominates in politics. I believe that in today's politics, there are males who are dominant, but that should be not the kind of stereotypical type of politician that we seek for.
Sa akin, kahit anong gender, basta kaya niya at matapang.
Okay po. Hindi naman. Pantay-pantay naman. Di ba gaya ni Miriam, di ba magaling yung babae naman.
Ayan.
Makilalang tao sa babae sa Senado.
I think, unfortunately, the current political landscape in the country is mostly dominated by male politicians. But I don't think that a certain gender should dominate the political landscape in the country. I think that both genders are equally capable in serving the country as politicians.
Yes, I am open to voting for an LGBT community member because although I am very religious as a person, I have to admit that I have this sense of separation between, again, the church and the state, you know. Sure, I would take into consideration my religious beliefs, my spirituality, but in politics, religion doesn't really have that much of an influence. I mean, looking back at the theories of Machiavelli, if one is affected too much by religion, then the tendency is we will have this bias that would hinder us from actually creating progress and from resolving the current predicaments that we have in the country.
I would like to say a society that actually flourishes, that grows, that becomes more accepting with people. I think when we actually serve, or when we actually choose people from the LGBTQAI+ or the LGBT community, we're giving them a voice in the government, and that's what we're actually supposed to do. And when we're voting for them and then looking past through their sexuality, we're becoming more accepting as a society. And actually, that's what the Philippines should be now: accepting, flourishing, and growing.
Okay lang po, ma'am. Kasi karapatan mo natin bumoto eh.
Opo, umayos naman yung nagagampanan niya po yung kanyang tungkulin o wala namang halong yung hindi naman nangungurako.
Opo.
Diretso naman yung pananaw niya.
Yes, I'm open to voting for certain candidates who are part of the LGBT community. But of course, my vote will be based upon their capabilities, their track record, and their willingness to serve the country and their people.
For me, what really matters is, first of all, it's an evident fact that they should have the right educational background for it. Like, it doesn't have to be, their course doesn't have to be specifically aligned with politics, although that is a plus point for them. They just have to have a degree. For me, that's a personal opinion. Second, they have to have the passion to really serve the people. Like, they should have the right motive on why they want to help out and reach out towards other people. And lastly, they should have the right commitment. Not commitment in a sense that they're going to pursue their own selfish interests. They have to be committed to their own beliefs, like the right intentions on why they want to help the country become better.
In a democratic society, it's important for us to actually choose who will represent us. So therefore, it is important to choose a candidate that represents its people. So if you believe that, if you are youth, or if you believe that someone should represent represent the youth, then you should vote for someone young, for someone who is capable of serving, for someone who has the heart to serve, and not because they're popular or all of those things.
I think when we're looking for a capable politician, we must look for these three important factors. First of all, is they need to have high regard for honesty and trust. This is a very important quality in today's society, especially for all the plundering and corrupt politicians nowadays. Secondly, is that they should have high regard for their advocacy. They should teach and talk and practice what they say or preach in today's society. Lastly is their leadership skills, their overall capability in serving the nation. That's the most important part, because that's the main part of looking for the proper politician, their ability to lead.
Yung puso nila, kailangan puso ng
Pangmasa ho.
pangmasa, at marunong silang tumanaw sa mga kapwa nating maralita.
Opo.
Kailangan magserbisyo ng totoo. Hindi lang sa pamagitan ng telebisyon, hindi sa gawa.
Siyempre yung may pinag-aralan, kaya niyang gampanan yung tungkulin niya, tapos yung para sa mahirap, paano ba sa mahirap, paano iangat yung bansa natin.
Again, what matters to me is that they really want to serve their people. They have the track record, which means they have the experience, the education of serving the people. They have the best interests of the people in mind. And yes, it resonates in them. It's in their heart to serve the people, and I think that's what matters. It doesn't matter what gender, what sexual preference, what educational attainment they have, as long as they believe that they can serve the people and they are willing to do so, then I think they should be voted in office.
The Lasallian community does not see gender and sexuality as a hindrance in the qualities for any individual to run for positions in public office. The community believes that an individual's sexuality has nothing to do with his or her capability in serving the Filipino people. Seeing how this community, TLSU, has been awakened into the empowerment and acceptance of such individuals, why not start this? One community at a time. Always remember that it does not matter who you are. It is what you are able to do for the country and its development is what matters.
We stand together for gender equality in politics.
We stand together for gender equality in politics.
We stand together for gender equality in politics.
And together for gender equality in politics.